We are here very close to the battle in Irpin. We are about 200 meters from the bridge. As you see, some ambulances that just came by, of course, bringing a few people from the town who are unable to get outside. Now, we should understand for the last few days, rescue operations have been going on in full swing, because from this particular area that we're standing in, just about 100 to 200 meters is a bridge that was blown up by the Ukrainian military to prevent the Russian forces from gaining further access. The Russian troops, of course, had pushed into this territory quite a bit. There was a battle that went on for about 3 weeks, and now the Ukrainian army has, of course, been saying that they have achieved a major pushback. And we'll really have to see, whether in the next few days they will be able to announce a complete victory. But even now, there is a lot of precautions that, of course, is being taken in this particular area. Now, apart from the barricading that has been done, trenches have been dug up so that the tanks cannot make their way in. And in any situation, if it arises, you can see here as well, you can see these metal shards that have been kept here that, of course, will be sprinkled all across the road, and in case any sort of military vehicle gains access, this is to slow them down, that such measures have been taken. And this is one of the checkpoints, multiple checkpoints, of course, that exist beyond this as well, to ensure that whatever happens, they do not lose this territory, which would give Russia a direct access to the capital of Kyiv. Now, at this point in time, the military personnel who are, of course, present here are, using some of the homes to get some rest. Food, of course, supplies is being brought in on a consistent basis. But more importantly now, it is the rescue efforts that are going on, rescue efforts that are going on continuously to ensure that any people who are trapped inside, including pets as well, could be brought back to safety. And some of them who are injured as well can be taken to hospitals too. The Ukrainian military giving us exclusive access to get inside the Irpin town, where the gun battle has been raging on for several days now. I have the commander of the military police here with me. If you could explain to us what we are looking at right here.
Hello. Today we in Irpin. It's now fully controlled by Ukrainian forces. Finally, we finish cleaning from the Russian troops and Russian mines, plus minus. It's yesterday. And now, I think, is the first press group who came inside the village. Okay. Here you see the village was destroyed behind us from artillery of the Russians. They attack the civilian groups who try go out. Okay. In forward, you will see the big cemetery with the cars and explosion the bridge. Yeah. It's like apocalypse movie, actually, because people run with kids, with dogs, run away with big bags. And the Russians still attack. And you
can see even now, of course, ambulances that are still helping, several residents who are trapped. They're being rescued. How many days were some of them inside? If you see these rescue cars coming only to this bridge, yes, and take what they can, the people from this point. Yes. After the bridge, work only the cars who was not destroyed. Okay. And it's maybe like 4 weeks. Or 5 weeks, like they
this.
Were definitely struggling. Some of them people injured as well.
Some people sit in the under the ground, okay, under the houses, like for 1 or 2 weeks. Okay. And only now, maybe like couple days, the people normally can try go out. But still, for yesterday, before we attack the another positions, okay, the Stoyanka and Stoyanka 2, yes, the artillery tries shelling us. Okay. But only today, it's plus minus stop. Maybe because it's fog. Or maybe the Russians forward so far and can't now shooting. And
you still believe there could be somebody hiding inside any of the Russian forces?
I think no, because yesterday we finished the cleaning operation, but still we find many the weapons, okay, armored vehicles, okay, and like this, who's at the left.
Is this the area that you were talking about? Yeah, where you could see a lot
now
of...
we will go and you'll see.
My camera person Himanshu, of course, can show you. This is the bridge that was blown up, and we are, of course, one of the first media teams to in fact get to this position. Even right now, like the Ukrainian military officer there was telling us, this area completely controlled by the Ukrainian army, and that's why they're letting us get into this particular place. And because of the extensive damage that this area has taken, you can see the scenario for yourself here. This bridge, of course, was blown up by the Ukrainian military to ensure that the troops don't get any more ahead than this particular point. You can see this bridge and completely destroyed, and beyond that, you can see the number of cars that have really taken damage, and all of them completely charred. There was an extensive gun battle that has been raging on here for about 3 weeks, and after which finally now they are saying that they have in fact almost completely liberated this particular area. Some of the Russian soldiers who are there have pushed back, and they're saying that they have ran further north, and Stoinka town as well, which we reported from yesterday. We saw there too the military officials, of course, are taking almost complete control. So this particular area just gives you an idea as to the kind of impact that this particular war has had. So now we're standing towards the entry part of the bridge that was blown up by the Ukrainian army. You can see so many vehicles all around here completely burnt. Now these were some of the residents who were trying to flee when the Russian forces gained access into their town. Now while of course it was a big problem for the Ukrainian residents here to escape, it also ensured that the Russian troops didn't get any further beyond this particular point. Now more importantly, some of them of course were rescued, some of them were killed, but the Ukrainian army after that of course engaged in a fierce battle. Now they say that the Russian troops came in with the mortars, they came in with their weapons, and the fight here of course continued for about 3 weeks. But this area shows you the extent of damage that the battle in Irpin has really caused, and we'll really have to see as we go further what we are able to really spot. We're now deep into the Irpin war zone, and you can see a Russian paratrooper armored vehicle that has been now destroyed. You can see some of the shells as well still here, and the military officers of course taking us through this, and of course telling us to be very, very cautious about where we even step, because there could be some shells that are still live. You can see all of them still dropped all over this particular area. As we in fact now look at this scenario, you can see this entire the vehicle of course completely damaged. Let me in fact speak to the commander.
Ivan Foot.
That's
Ivan Foot. Yes.
That's for soldiers' shoes.
Yes.
Okay, that there you see.
This part of his legs.
Okay, if you could give us some details about this particular.
I don't
vehicle.
know. It's not. I'm destroyed that.
Okay.
I know they coming here, and when they coming here, our troops start shooting him, and he try make very fast forward. But I think for damage, like have this car, they trap to the anti-tank mine. Okay. You will see. You will see the holes. You will see the holes. And he jumped to the anti-tank mine with two.
That's okay. So
wheels, with two wheels, and boom, his bashня head go out, kaput.
Okay. Well, thank you, Commander. Well, that was what the commander briefed us, that this, of course, vehicle that even can be, thrown off a flight, and of course it can land and then get into the battle zone. This was destroyed here by the Ukrainian army. As we go forward, he says there are more vehicles like this that were destroyed. But as you can see, the times now, of course, being able to access this particular area with the help of the Ukrainian military, trying to show you, how this war, of course, has gone about inside the Irpin town, where over 300 civilians were killed. Just about 50 meters from where we are standing, we saw a destroyed BMD, the Russian paratrooper armored vehicle that, of course, came through this particular area, firing, shells all around. You can see these empty cartridges that are right now fallen all over this particular road, and you can see it throughout this particular stretch. And what they have also done is, apart from, of course, attack the military personnel who are right in front of them, the Ukrainian military, they've also attacked civilian property. You can see some of the apartment buildings inside. You can see holes right through the wall, and some of the soldiers say that there were a kid's room full of toys, and there's a massive hole inside it, and that's the kind of war that unfolded inside this particular terrain. Well, what we're looking at now is a Russian BMD that was destroyed, but of course not as damaged or mangled as the one we saw earlier. This was right in between the forest area. You can see all around that the shelling that has taken place, damaging multiple trees around. Here with us is the Ukrainian commander. If you could tell us, how difficult was it to bring down this machine?
I can say how difficult, because I'm not destroyed. Yes. This car is destroyed was Ukrainian military.
Yes.
But you will see now it's a holes from cumulative shell.
Yes.
I think it's RPG.
Okay.
And you see it's coming to here. They start burning inside. It's
forcing them outside.
Accumulator.
Okay.
Like this, and he was stopped. And you will see the shooting. If he lose the truck,
Yeah.
So I think he gets some.
He was trapped, you're saying. And well, as he was explaining, you can see probably they've used Molotov cocktail.
So he lost the truck on the left. Okay. Here, stop, I think.
Okay.
And after the guy is shooting him from RPG.
Okay.
But it's plus minus lucky for us, yeah, because not explosive inside the ammunition.
There was a lot of explosives?
Not explosive. That's
Okay.
why he plus minus full.
Okay.
Like this.
So he was flushed out of this particular tank using a Molotov cocktail? Was there firing?
No,
okay.
RPG.
RPGs were used. That's what he's saying. RPGs used to flush them out. And finally, of course, he's showing us markers as well. You can see. Let me, in fact, ask my video journalist Himanshu to show us the damage that it has caused.
Heavy machine gun BZT used him, couple, and RPG used here.
Well, there you see it. This damage on this Russian vehicle. This is once again a paratrooper armored vehicle. RPGs, machine guns used on it to stop it. It has been stopped right in between a forest. Now this is the second one that we are looking at in about a radius of about 200 meters. So it gives you an idea as to the kind of artillery that the Russians brought with them while they made their way inside Irpin town. Now we are going to show you a little more detailed aspects about this particular armored vehicle here. You can see the soldiers who have left behind a few items. Here you can see a packet which probably had food, canned food. There is, of course, a spoon, a few biscuits that they've used. You can see the gloves that they were using. You can see a gas mask as well that one of the soldiers used. Apart from that, here you can see another, hand-fired weapon that they have probably tried to use. That too is lying here. We are, of course, not going to touch that because the soldiers have asked us not to touch anything that, in fact, could have a risk of explosion. You can see another gas mask of a soldier. Apart from that, this particular bag that you see here even has the Russian soldier's name that has been embedded in it. So this particular armored vehicle, of course, like, the commander was telling us, they've used RPGs, they've used machine guns to bring it down. With me is Soldier Constantine, who's going to tell us what we're seeing behind us. This is the center of the town, and we're looking at extensive damage. If you could tell us what sort of fighting happened here.
This shop, it was like a shopping mall, a small shopping mall in this village.
Yeah.
So why, I don't know, they shoot there and shoot like normally because it was like it's burned totally and the roof is down. So they destroyed even the roof, even the top floor.
Yeah, as you can see, that particular car completely charged as Himanshu was showing you, and of course the building as well, even the top floor has completely been blown off. Mind you, we were just showing you visuals of the armored vehicle. Probably such sort of artillery was used to, attack these buildings as well, which
civilian buildings.
Which the soldiers are saying, it is civilian buildings. There was no need to attack it. Even then, the Russian forces that gained access here attacked many civilian properties, including the one right behind me. As the soldiers take us deeper into Irpin town, we've reached a rehabilitation center that was very recently built for the rehabilitation of Ukrainian wounded soldiers through the previous wars. And state-of-the-art machinery, state-of-the-art medical equipment from the US was brought in. About the soldier tells us that about $600,000 were in fact spent.
Yeah.
You must be really lucky that the kind of damage that we've seen in this entire place, but this building remains intact.
It's miracle.
Yeah.
It's miracle, yes. It's a very big luck because we actually think it's basta, it's finished.
Yes.
And you now need or collect money for a new rep center or not work anymore. But now I'm very lucky. It's a very good day for us because here, after the war, we can help to more peoples than before.
Yeah.
And we have actually specialists, we have medicine, life science, we have medicine apparatur, we have all, and all is good.
And like you said, soldiers who are wounded in this particular war as well. Now they too, can come back in this particular place. But how many? Do you have an idea of how many people were here while the war in this area began, and how difficult was it to really evacuate them to safety?
I don't know actually. It's imagine if the shelling, if the explosives, the breach, what happened?
Yeah.
Panic. But we, in the moment when it started in our rehabilitation center, we have like 3 or 4 guys who live with us and who came to training. And they sit on the safety place maybe like 1 week plus minus, and after we evacuated. And you see on the bridge the car.
Yes.
It's a stop because block, the people go out, and after the shelling destroy our car and other cars too. So it's double luck.
We are right in between a residential block here in Irpin. Let me show you the kind of devastation that has taken place here because of this area turning into a battleground. You can see houses all over completely damaged. You can see window panes broken. You can see this particular kids area here completely destroyed. You can see bullets that have penetrated through all of these areas. You can see some dogs as well that have been left behind by the residents who had to flee the region. This entire area is a small example of what the war has done to the residents living in such localities in Ukraine where the Russian forces managed to penetrate. Now this area of course has been sanitized by the Ukrainian military after they have gained complete control over this particular region. And you can see cars as well behind me, and these were used by the residents here, completely damaged. Across this particular street there are multiple cars as well that have been damaged, and as I was showing you, all of these window panes, you can see firing that has taken place, and you can see the window panes broken all over. And you could have imagined, if for any resident living here, what kind of a nightmare really it would have been experiencing all of this firsthand. Well, I have a resident here of Irpin town who's just come back to his home right now since the Ukrainian military controls this area. If you could tell us when the Russian army came in, if you could explain those moments to us.
What I'm feeling,
Yes.
when Russian army had made very horrible things to people. 300
Civilians,
people
right?
died, and near we have a taxi when there were 4 bodies lying about a month. I never expected that it's a very calm, quiet place. I never expected to be like this, but I decided to stay at home because my parents they don't have such headache to leave our home. And I can't leave my parents.
So when there was gunfiring here, we can see so much damage all around. The window panes are broken. We are seeing cars damaged. Were you not scared to stay here?
No, because the glasses is not so horrible. The house is alive, it's, thanks God. But glasses is not, windows is not so problem. It was 4 days ago.
Okay.
Russians. It's
Soldiers came here.
Wait.
Anyway, don't worry about it. Thank you for speaking to us,
thank
and take
you.
care of yourself. Stay
Take
safe.
care. Thank
Yes.
you.
Well, like he said, he says as of now, what we're seeing here with just some of the glasses shattered isn't a big thing compared to entire houses like some of them behind me, which have been completely destroyed. And he says that he didn't want to leave this particular area. His parents didn't want to leave, and he decided to stay back. You could have just imagined what he and his family went through. Now we've walked about 3 kilometers into Irpin town, and what we continue to see is extensive damaged, wrecked homes, buildings that have been destroyed, cars that have been damaged. You can see all around here. All you see is destruction, and there was heavy gun battle that took place here. There were armored vehicles that were firing upon these buildings. You can see here as well one car that is completely damaged. Homes, not just this one. If you could see across the building that we are standing just 2 blocks away, you can see the roof of that entire building, of course, completely damaged. Trees that have fallen down after probably an armored vehicle started firing rounds here. So as we go deeper into Irpin, 2 things have been established here: that this area now has been sanitized. The Ukrainian forces have complete control up until here, and the Russian troops have pulled back largely from this region after facing the wrath of the Ukrainian soldiers. About a 3-kilometer walk from the bridge that was blown up at the entrance of Irpin, now we're standing at the central street. In fact, this is the Irpin square, and you can see the monument there barely standing after the attack and the numerous shelling and bullets that it actually has taken. Around me you can see the carnage that the war has left behind, the devastation that it has left behind all around. The commercial complexes that were housed on this central street completely destroyed. But what's very, very important to note here is that the battle that raged on for over 3 weeks here, and now Ukraine that has control over this area, it essentially means one thing. This road that directly leads to the capital of Ukraine, Kyiv, is now safe and within Ukrainian control. We are here very close to the battle in Irpin.
Finally, we finish cleaning from the Russian troops and Russian mines plus mine.